and Charles. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. Nice and comfortable here. Today we're gonna be talking about breast cancer. Today is Monday, October 1st. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Have you had your mammogram? I gotta get these babies checked. I thought I did, but I'm not sure. How can you not remember if you had a mammogram? They smush your boobies like that. Well, again, guys, we have a very special guest, Miss Tia Tomlin. We're going to be talking about how she's living her breast life. Not best life, her breast life. Don't y'all like that? Hi, Tia.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
So, tell us a little bit about you, because I definitely, when we connected through Loving Arms, I definitely wanted to talk about breast cancer, because it is October 1st, Breast Cancer Month, and Breast Cancer Awareness, and I wanted to get someone on the show on the first day to talk about breast cancer, what they've gone through, their journey, but you're being a survivor basically doesn't define you, because she's doing so many amazing things right now. So just take us down your journey, what you've gone through, because some of us don't know when someone's diagnosed with any form of cancer, what do we say? You know, some of us, when we're told that someone is diagnosed, we disappear. We just don't know how to have that conversation. So share some things with us.
Sure. So I was actually diagnosed in June of 2015.
Okay.
When I got the phone call, of course, I was devastated. And how it started is I actually felt a lump in my breast.
Okay.
And after I felt the lump, it just kind of took me by surprise, but I knew, because it didn't belong there. I knew that this wasn't just something that just all of a sudden happened. The week prior, I did a self-breast exam, nothing. Fast forward 1 week later, I'm doing another self-breast exam, and I guess you could say I was a little, addicted to doing it.
Wait a minute. This is a family-friendly show. So are you telling me you were addicted? Well, Serena Williams made that song, I Touched Myself. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was, since the 7th grade, I was taught to do self-breast exams. But my brother was diagnosed with cancer in 2011. And so for me, it was, I went and had a mammogram done at that time because I was having some little issues and I was a little nervous. And so after that, I was just constantly like touching my breast, just making sure, okay, what do I feel here? And so the week prior, I didn't feel anything. And then the week later, I felt a very hard lump. And I knew, but I just tried to remain positive. I didn't want to receive it. I didn't want to speak it into my life. So I didn't really tell anyone. I went to the doctor, they felt the same thing, sent me for the mammogram and the ultrasound. I did that, and then of course a few days later they called me and said, it's cancer. Devastated, completely devastated, and I prayed about it, and I just asked God, just help me through this. I surrendered. I totally surrendered and said, Lord, I believe that this is not about me, this is for me to go back and help others. And one of the things that right when the incident happened, I had a friend that was staying with me, and they were going through some health challenges, and I just opened my home up to them, so I didn't want them to hear me. And they didn't know what was going on, and I was in my bathroom and I'm crying, and God just said to me, get up and take your bed. You saw what I did for your brother, you saw what I did for your father, why can't I do the same for you? And that's when I had that moment of get up and fight. You're gonna beat this, you're gonna beat this. Go through, treatments. I had 8 rounds of chemo. Experienced all kinds of side effects. And then I had surgery. And then after surgery, I had radiation. So I had about 33, 34, I'm starting to lose count, rounds of radiation that really just knocked me off my feet completely.
Well, let me rewind this, okay? I didn't just meet Tia today. I do a lot of volunteer with a cancer outreach center. It's a support center. It's called Loving Arms in Marietta, Georgia. Loving Arms, Marietta, Georgia. And we do a phenomenal job there. Shay, Janet, and also Angel, phenomenal job. And that's where I met you. So this lady walks up to me and I'm like, okay, slow your roll, slow your roll. And you just have this wonderful personality, and just hearing what you're saying about, because I'm serious myself. sister, the fact that you received this devastating diagnosis, you're helping me and others out there who may have had health challenges and going through health challenges. We can listen to what the doctors are telling us. We don't have to hear it because there's a higher power above. So when you receive that shocking diagnosis, walk us through what you felt immediately.
Immediately was, how am I going to tell my parents? In 2011, we had some devastating things that happened in our family. First, I got sick. I just moved to Atlanta. They couldn't figure out what was going on with me.
From where?
Well, here.
No,
at the time I was living in New York.
Woo! Sorry. Okay.
So I moved, to Atlanta from there. Was working for this company, a startup company, and I was just so busy. I was doing a lot of traveling. Things just got hectic. Things got stressful, and then I got sick, and they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And I was never a person that really got sick, and so it kind of scared me a little bit. My mom flew down to help support me, and then she got a phone call while she was here that my grandfather needed her. He had taken ill. She flew back to Virginia, started taking care of my grandfather. He passed away, buried him on a Monday. My father had a major stroke on Saturday. So he's in the hospital, he's in rehab for like a month. He's in the hospital. My sister-in-law had to have an emergency hysterectomy. 2 weeks into her recovery, my brother was diagnosed with stage 4 testicular cancer. He has surgery, he goes through his process, then has another major surgery, then my mother has a heart attack. So it was so many things going on in my family. The following year, my nephew, they misdiagnosed him, his kidneys started to fail. I lost my auntie from a motorcycle accident. So it was a lot going on in my family. So by the time 2015 hit, things are a lot better in my family. My father's able to now drive to the corner store. My brother has started his own business, Prosperity for Kids. Those things were just so phenomenal. And then I get hit. And so my first thought was my parents. How am I going to have this conversation with my parents? The second thing was my friend was staying with me. So what am I going to do? How am I going to work this out? I'm in a 2-bedroom home. I was there to support and help them while they were going through, and now I'm being affected by something. Then I started thinking about, God, why me? I'm young, I'm single, I don't have any children. Why? I'm a good person. Why is this happening to me? I'm not a bad person that's out here. I'm always helping people, so why me? Then I thought about my business I had just started. We had a big event that we were planning for to raise awareness for prostate cancer in November. And I said, how does this happen? So all of those things came to my mind, and then of course my job. What am I gonna do? All of my family's in Virginia. I'm here by myself. I have a few friends, but family is nothing like family. What am I gonna do? So those were all of my immediate thoughts. And then, of course, getting up, going into the bathroom, having that crying moment, and that's when God just spoke to me. And I got up, and I just started praising Him, I started worshiping Him, and I just surrendered. I said, God, let your will be done, even if this is unto my demise. Even if this is how I'm going to leave this earth. God, let your will be done. And I wrote on my mirror, and it's still on my mirror to this day, my faith is my healing power. Ooh, and so I had to stand on faith, knowing that is what's going to get me through, that I'm going to be healed. So as long as my faith stays strong, healing is for me.
It's just amazing just listening to your story, because so often and I'm so glad you're keeping it real, because normally I've had conversations with people and they were, they were diagnosed with something and they're like, okay, I got this. And it's refreshing to hear someone say, why me? I'm a good person. Why is this happening to me? So, listening to everything that happened to your family, what made you decide that you wanted to be a spokesperson? You wanted to walk in this passion. You wanted to walk in your purpose.
Yeah. Well, like I said, going back to that moment, I surrendered, and I said, I knew that this was not just about me. I knew that my family was having a Job experience, and I felt like everyone in my family had been under attack,
right?
And this was the enemy coming after me. And so I said, God, this is bigger than me. And I had a friend that tell me, Tia, I know you wonder why. And you know, we always say the cliche thing, well, why not you? But what he said to me was so profound. He said, God, trust you. And I said, oh, God, what do you mean? Cancer? What you talking about? You know, this is, no. And he said, God, trust you. He knows that he can get a testimony out of your life. He trusts you. And in that moment, it was like a light bulb just hit. Like, okay, Lord, I got it. I got it. I get it. I understand this. I have to go through this because you trust me and you know that I'm going to go back and help. It was already in my, you know, DNA.
I was just thinking that.
You know, it was already in my DNA to be a helper, to love up on people, because that's what I was taught. That's where I came from. And this was just an extension of that. And I said, God, you see me through this. I promise you, I'm going back and help people. And I mean that with everything that's in me. And I do it each and every day.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we have this show called the Women Are Worthy Show, because it's not just talking about your business, it's talking about your passion. Why are you basically explained you told me why you wake up every morning. You know what I'm saying? Why are you breathing? Now, for someone out there who's going through something, if you can look at the camera and they were giving this devastating news, whether it's cancer, 3 months to live, they need a heart transplant, blood disease, what can you tell that person out there that can't see any hope? That they're like, you know what, I don't want to hear it, I just, why me? And because you know, there's that pivotal moment when you think everything is crushing in, and either you're thinking about suicide or you're depressed. What can you tell that person out there to help them not to take it to that next level?
Well, one thing I want to say is, what I gather from this battle is choices. We all have a choice. We can lay down and let this thing take us out, or we can get up and fight. So that's one thing. You have a choice. And the battle first begins here. It begins in the mind. When you speak and you believe and you stand on faith, no matter what, and this is what I can share with you because this is what I experienced.
Right.
When you stand on faith and you trust, no matter what the reports say, no matter what the doctors say, no matter how you feel. There were days I wanted to throw in the towel. Not throwing the towel on life. I was sick and tired of treatment. I was sick and tired of being in pain. I was sick and tired of being sick and having to fight to get back up. But I knew that there was purpose in my life. You know, there was a time in my life where I struggled with purpose, trying to figure out, okay, I'm just going to work, I'm going home, paying bills, going to work, go home, pay bills. And I was like, it's gotta be more to life than this. And sometimes when we have those thoughts or those prayers, God will show us our purpose. He never said it was gonna be easy. Never, not one time he said it was gonna be easy. But if you stand on faith and you trust him and you keep your mind right and you keep your mind focused on what his word says and healing is for you, you can get through this. You just have to encourage yourself. I had to get up and remind myself that my faith was my healing power. So you have to do the same and know that God has got you. 110%. I'm a living witness of it. He's got you. You can do this.
I'm telling you, I felt like we went to church. No, we didn't go to church. We went to church. Okay, so I don't have to, Mike, I won't see you on Sunday, okay? Because I just had church right here.
Yeah, and the other thing I just want to add really quick, you know, I don't want people to think that, oh, she's so churchy, all that God. Look at here. Let me tell you this, to be very clear. Okay, this is coming from me, from my heart. This is coming from my heart. There's nothing nobody can do. When you get that diagnosis of cancer, a lot of times we think of death, right? There is nothing nobody can do. Nothing your mother can do. Nothing the doctors can do. Nothing you can do. Nothing chemo, none of that stuff. At the end of the day, God's got the final say over our life. And we just have to rest in him and trust him. And it's not being a super spiritual thing. And, you know, when I realized there is nothing that nobody can do, this is a me and God thing. This is a faith thing. This is I'm being stretched in my faith and in my walk. You gotta give it to him.
And when I think about Steve Jobs, when he passed and, you know, he was given a couple of months to live, and he had all the money in the world, all the money, the best doctors, you know, at his beck and call.
Yeah.
And to see that he became very more spiritual towards the end, and you're right, because it just hit me. I'm telling you, you just knocked me over when you said that. There isn't anything a spouse, a parent, a doctor, money can do. It's you and God gotta work this out. And he already knows what it is, but you have to, I'm telling you, you guys know, you have to be strong. I'm talking this is some strong faith we're talking about, because you're given a diagnosis and you're like, am I gonna listen to this doctor? Am I gonna do the chemo? Am I gonna do radiation? What am I gonna do? I don't even want to begin to even phantom what I can do. You know what I'm saying? I know we say God don't give you more than you can carry, but you're living proof of that right here. You know, just when you think you can't stretch, you're about to break.
He stretched me, I'll tell you, because my flesh want to be on that floor kicking and screaming and crying, okay? But like I said, I just had to push. You know, when they say pray until something happens, it wasn't always just about the prayers. It was about finding that thing that was in me that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know I had that kind of strength. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you would have told me that this was going to happen to me, I would have been ready to take myself out. Like, I can't do this.
Get somebody else.
Right, I'm not the one. You sure you want me? But it's just a decision. It goes back to the choices. It's a decision. We all have free will. It's a decision that I'm going to believe and I'm going to trust, and I'm going to get through this. And I'm not saying that these will not be hard.
Right.
Trust me. I have moments where I'm like, look at here, I'm over this. I'm ready to throw this towel in and just gonna live my life, whatever that picture's gonna look like.
Can you tell me the Tia before the diagnosis and the Tia after the diagnosis?
Tia before the diagnosis was that corporate girl. I go to work, I work hard, I put in a lot of hours. I was dedicated to work because I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to be that executive. I've worked hard between school, between the work that I did. I just really worked hard, and the results were paying off for me. And I was like I said, dedicated. My character, my integrity was everything when it came to work. And I put my all into work. And I never forget, I had a conversation with my cousin. He and his wife, they're both VPs. They have children. And I said, how do you guys do it? How do you maintain that balance? I don't get it. I'm young, I'm single, I don't have kids, but I don't have balance in my life. And the one thing that he said to me, this was 2014, he said, what are they gonna say at your funeral?
Repeat that again.
What are they gonna say at your funeral? That's what he said to me. And he didn't ask me to answer or anything like that. That was his response to me when I said, how do you do it? And I sat on it, and I sat on it, and I meditated on it, and it just started to hit me that, Tia, you've been putting all of your energy into work. What are you doing to touch people? What are you doing to reach people? Not to say I didn't help, because my career pretty much I help people, but it's beyond that. You work 9 to 5 in the office, and then you bring it home. What are you doing outside of that? And so I started to make a decision that I was going to let it go. To let go of things that were out of my control. I didn't own the corporation that I was working for. I was a worker bee. I was there to work. And so I started to make that the transition in my life. 2015, at the top of 2015, I said, I'm just going to live. I'm going to enjoy life. And so at that moment, I kind of felt like when it hit me and I was diagnosed, that it was like too late. But then, because of the diagnosis, but then eventually I realized, no, it wasn't too late. There was a transformation that was taking place in my life to take me somewhere else that God wanted me to be. And now the Tia, I let go of things. I don't stress over things. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I'm not gonna let it bring me down. I'm not gonna, worry over it. I've made some lifestyle changes, of course, that I hadn't made before. In terms of all the products that I use, I'm eating different foods now. So a lot of those things have changed, but I think the stress was the biggest one.
Please, ladies, guys, if you're watching the show, please remind your wife, sister, girlfriend, grandma, auntie, niece, sister to get it. Did I cover everyone? Granddaughter, great-grand, to get their mammogram. Did I cover everyone?
And men get breast cancer too.
Men, get that checked out too. That's right. I didn't even think about that.
Well, I want to throw another thing in there.
Sure.
Thermograms.
What's thermogram?
So a lot of people don't know about thermograms because it's non-conventional. So we do have people that, like myself, are not getting mammograms. A thermogram is something that is non-invasive. You don't have to flatten your breast.
Is that
or anything
digital?
like that. It's pretty much a scan. It looks like a camera, and they kind of scan your body. They're looking at different points in terms of how your body heats up and responds and all stuff. But it's really cool. I've had it done.
So which one do you? So because I do know when you do the when you do the other one, because I had the scan or whatever, the digital. I think I did the digital. But so which do you prefer? Which you suggest? Now again, this is your personal opinion, so I'm just asking. Yes.
So this is my personal opinion. Radiation. I want to avoid as much radiation as I can. And so I was diagnosed with triple negative, which is one of the most aggressive types of breast cancer. Yes, most of us our breasts are different. So most of us are diagnosed with this aggressive form of cancer. And it's not hormone based. But I've chosen to not get a mammogram. I do thermograms and I'll do an ultrasound. If the thermogram comes back and say there's something of suspicion, then I may consider getting a mammogram at that time. But for me, no. And they wanted me to do it twice a year and do 3D, which is even more amounts of radiation. Oh. So I have made that decision, and actually it's kind of comical. My PCP sent me a letter in the mail and said they're no longer going to service me because I'm not following the standard protocol.
Oh, because you're not a compliant patient.
I'm not compliant and all of that stuff. And I don't knock anyone who chooses to get a mammogram. This is just a choice that I've made for my life. And I feel like I should have a say in my health. I shouldn't be bound by, a set of standards. Because just like a mammogram can't find everything, there are cancers that a mammogram has not found, and then it also has misdiagnosed people. Same thing with a thermogram, same thing with ultrasound. So,
preference.
It's a preference.
So do your research. Again,
Yes.
she's not advocating not to get it done. This is what she chose herself. So again, I want to put that disclaimer out there. So what is this what is the calcification of breast tissues? What's that?
Yeah, so that's actually what they found in my breast. Calcification, and that is pretty much where, for some women, and most of the time when they see calcification, it does lead to a cancer. So that's what they did find in my breast, and I think that's why they are so really pushing for me to get a 3D mammogram every 6 months, because they saw calcification, and then after I had all my surgery, they were concerned if it was calcification or not in my breast. But they said they think it was more of like scar tissue from the surgery.
So what is the calcification? Because if you have calcification, what's going on here? You said, talking about breast makes you want to touch it. So what is it about the calcification? Like, what is that?
So that is pretty much when you have, they're seeing like some hardening in your tissue. Something is going on within the breast tissue itself. And it's pretty much leading up to a cancer.
So it's a possibility.
So 9 times out of 10, yes, it leads to some type of cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys heard that. So definitely get your mammograms, get your screening, your wellness visits, everything.
Self breast exams is definitely key. And I also want to say this too. Men, get to know your wife's breast. A lot of times the women don't find it because we don't do self breast exams, but the man, because he's the one that's more so touching the woman, will find it. And vice versa, the women are the ones who find it on the men. So, be involved, be engaged, because I think it takes both to, during intimate times, I'll say. Don't just see it as just an intimate moment, but also pay attention to the woman's body, and the woman should pay attention to her husband's body, or her, spouse, or whomever.
Yeah. So and that's one of the things, because I definitely want to put a video up there about how to self-examine, because most people really don't know how to self-examine. They go and they get their mammograms and then it's done. And I don't think not all women are not going to their peak. When they're going for the wellness visits, they're getting their PAP, but they should actually have their doctor do self-exams. And when your doctor's doing the self-breast exam, ask her to teach you how to do it. There's videos out there, but I think if you have your PCP, have your PCP show you how to do breast exams. Yeah. See, my PCP, she does everything. So sorry, one-stop shop. So that's a good observation. I'm glad you mentioned that. What else would you like to share with us? Because living my breast life ain't going back and forth with you. Oh my God, can we play that song, please? Because I'm like, I'm telling you, I know how to do that shoulder move. I know it. Tell us, how did you come up with that?
So, of course, there's a song that's out now by Lil Duval and, Snoop or whatever. So, that's the hype. Living my best life is what they say. So, I have changed that to say I'm living my breast life. One of my hashtags is my breast years ahead.
Yeah.
So, I use, living my breast life ain't going back and forth with you, cancer. See?
Oh, yes. Okay, wait a minute. My leg's shaking for a minute. Okay, my leg's shaking. Let me stop. Okay, you can turn it off now. See, I'm telling you, you don't know what you're going to get when you're on this show. Make sure you share the page, like the page, follow the Women Are Worthy show. Tell us your social media, because the show's not done. We still have some more things.
So our social media on Facebook, you can find us at My Style Matters. You can also find us through our BreastCancer. That's CAN''T-CER. So BreastCancer Project. You can also find us on Instagram, My Breast Years Ahead. That's directly to me. You can find our nonprofit organization, My Style Matters, on Instagram, and you can also find us on My Style Matters 2 on Twitter.
Wow, she has a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get mine together. And just to remind you guys, I also have a podcast that I do. It's on Up to Me Radio, up to the number 2 meradio.com / the Women Are the Women Are Worthy show. So when you get to Up to Me Radio, I want you to look on the left-hand side. You'll see the Women Are Worthy show. It's a great podcast. And guys, we're at over 700,000 streams. We're over 700,000 streams. Yes. I'm telling you, Melinda's doing the doggone thing. And also, please follow us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is the Women Are Worthy Network. We're on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, comment, and all that other good stuff. On Instagram, we're the Women Are Worthy Show. Facebook, we're the Women Are Worthy Show. Okay, y'all, guess what? We got Snapchat. And it's the Women Are Worthy Network. The Women Are Worthy Network on Snapchat. Please follow us on all our channels because, we really want to make sure that you guys are engaged. If you have any questions, if you want to be a guest, please send an email to the Women Are Worthy, that's plural, womenareworthy@gmail.com, womenareworthy@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can please send everything there. Is there anything, what we like to do on the show is when we have a guest, we want the guest to leave a jewel, leave a thought for people. One of those things that make you go, So we'd like you to leave one of those, with our audience.
Well, I think I touched a little bit upon it earlier on when we talked about the journey, and I just said the battle starts in the mind. But I know today we're talking about breast cancer. But in life, we all go through things, whether it's a disease, whether it's your finances, whether it's a job, or what have you. Just know that you have a choice in the matter and stay as positive as you can. Everything starts with the decision. Everything starts with us choosing to be happy. Everything starts with the mind. And so I just want to leave you that golden nugget. Always check your mind. When you're going through some things, my father used to tell me when I go through, like back in the day, I don't know if the TV still does it, but remember when you have all these colors on the TV and it goes, boo, boo, we like to interrupt this broadcast.
They have 600 channels.
So he used to tell me, when you're going through these things, you have to stop instead of reacting and say, this is a test. For the next 20 seconds, you are in a test.
I like that.
Have that moment before you respond. Have that moment before you react and recognize that I am being tested and am I going to pass this test? So whatever you're going through, again, know that it starts in the mind and stay as positive and just trust God and lean on Him. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, stay focused.
With that said, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Tia Tomley, Living Your Breast Life. Thank you for being on our show. Again, please follow her. You know, if there's any questions that you need, please hit me up and I'll definitely send you to her direction. Bye guys, have a great weekend.
Bye.